Summary. The aggregate function. We have discussed so far. This function. Treated count, right? Both general counting and conditional counting. So that one is average, right? And now you should know the kind of question you should be expecting from each of these aggregate functions.
This is class. We have the bucket. Back.
Are you changing light?
Yes.
Now?
Yes. But don't worry, I'm going to change direction. I'm not off.
Okay. Okay, so these are the borrow of my Bible. I've not seen them, now they turn them. Okay, so let's quickly look at the sum function. Right, aggregate summation function in SQL. Aggregate summation function in SQL. That is the only query statement we are yet to cover. So once I've done it, then if there's any need to, I'll give room for questions. If there's no question, then we assume that we are done with SQL. Now we already know the concept of summation. That is summarizing what? Value. So we can write summation function is mainly used for data summarization. It's mainly used for data summarization. So let's look at some questions, general question, or even conditional. Let's start with general question that we can be asked that will require us using sum. Now looking at the data I'm working with, which is the same employee data, what kind of question do you think they can ask us that will require using the sum function? Basic salary. Let's assume the company wants to know the total costs of what? Paying all the staffs, right? Don't you think the company may want to know that? So we can write that question down. Analyze the total costs, or we can just say analyze the total basic salary, so which is the total cost of, but we can't say this is total cost because we have other allowances that will also cost the organization, right? So let's just say we are analyzing the total what? Basic salary. Now let's construct conditional one. Let's assume that we are not asked to summarize the total, the states. Let's assume we are asked to summarize for Delta State. The company wants to know the cost of paying only the staffs from where? From Delta State. That is conditional aspect now. So let's write that down as one of the questions we should need to answer with the summation function. That is what is the total cost of funding employees from Delta States? Basic salary. What is the total cost of funding employees basic salary from Delta States? Okay, so I will answer these two questions, then you can expand it to more than one condition. So of course, to start with, as usual, we go to make sure that you are selecting the database name that contains the table you want to call this data from. After that, you go to your SQL, then click here. So who can help us? Okay, this is the first time we are taking it. So select will be the syntax. Select, just like we were doing count, right? You know, after select, we now mention what? Count. When we wanted to count everything, we now put asterisk inside the what? The bracket. So select sum. Inside the sum, you call the header that contains the values you are summarizing, which is what in this case? Basic what? Salary. Remember that the basic salary we are calling here is not to be quoted. And you know the reason why we must not quote it? Because it's a variable. Because it's describing values in a column. So now, how is that basic salary entered in the data set? You help me with that. Is it capital letter or true? And there is a basic underscore salary. Then after that, you pass in the word, the expression. How do you want to see the value? As, remember the same process, as total what? Total basic. Abi? Or yeah, let's just say total basic salary. Total basic salary. Then from where? From our data set name, right? Which is NIT projects. So let's execute and see. What is it that we did wrong? Let's debug together. Say that what? Unknown column what? Name. Are you sure? Different from my own, Abby. Let me see. Unknown column name. Okay, so just to find out, give me an SQL query statement to call the values in the table, so that from there I will know how that header select, right? Give me SQL query statement to call all the record in a table. It's part of what we have done. No, that one will show the list of tables in the database. The one I'm asking now is that an SQL query statement that will select all the records so that I can see the column name. I want to know where I got that column description wrong. Select. Then no. When you want to select all the values in a table, what is the syntax? Good. Select what? Asterisk from the data sets, which is what? NIT. And then you run. Don't forget all this anyway, the class project work will lead you to. So for me, I want to find out, since it complained that the header description it carries underscore. What's wrong? Yeah? You're not able to copy this one. This young man, you see the Nigeria? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that let me relate it with this one that have a T slash. That is the transport allowance. Since it's complaining of that, let me relate it with another one. Or let me just read what task. Task is just single word, have it? To avoid issue. So I'll go back to my data set. Go back to my data set. So let me be writing it to confirm my data set. Then select sum, task as total task from So I think the issue I was having is the header it work here with the task. So let it just come up so that you can copy the syntax. So copy the syntax now, then and run it for me. Or you just hold on, let me just execute all, then I'll give you time to Okay, so let's quickly look at, remember how I said we can run multiple commands here. What was the idea I gave to us? We edit line and convert this to what? Comments. Convert it to comments. Convert it to comments. Now, let's look at the one of condition. Now, in this case now, that was the total task for, or total task paid by all the what? Or the employee. Now let's assume that we are targeting tasks paid by only employee from one particular state, let's say Delta or Edo. So that is the conditional sum we want to do now. So let me write the code. Select sum. Pay attention because I will allow you to do it for me. Select sum. We are picking that same word, task, as task paid from Edo only. That is what we want to derive now. Task paid from Edo only. The from the data set name. Now because this is conditional question, we cannot stop there. where what? Where state is written in capital letter, right? Where state is equals to what? Where state is equals to, we quote it. Where state is equals to Edo. I think Edo should be in capital letter also. Where state is equals to Edo.
Sorry. That example assistant. That's almost like an optical.
So you can see it now. We have just what? 94,000. The total tax paid from only Edo. Now let's say we want to make it total tax paid from Edo that are female or male. Let's answer that one. So remember, I will click on what? Edit line in order to convert this to what? Comments. Hope you are writing your syntax. So now the one we are answering now is what? Tax paid from Edo that are only what? Male. Because the one we did now is what? For all the what? The gender. But the company wants to know, the total tax paid from Edo that are from only male record or employee. So select some the same task as task paid from Edo by male only. Now from the data set name, where state is equals to Edo, where state is equals to Edo, and good, and gender. How is this spelled there? Capital letter out through gender. I don't know if I'm correct like this. So where gender? It says okay, good. Capital letter out through, right? Says is equals to what? Male. How is the male written? Just M. Capital letter M. Then we end it. So let's execute. Sharp. They are just what? So imagine that 94,000 now. Only male account for what? So definitely we have more male from this. But you can do your own, do for female, do for male, and write down your observation. Is it clear to us? Okay, so this is now I want to quickly talk about the visualization aspect, which I said is one of the advantage of using this word PHP MyAdmin SQL over what? Workbench. Workbench you cannot visualize, but with this you can what? Visualize. Now if you want to visualize, then we have to filter out two columns. One text variable, one what? Number variable. So that graph have, you must define the the y-axis against what? The s-axis. So we cannot convert the whole data set into graph. So we are going to write an SQL query statement that will bring out names of the staff, the column of the name of the staff, and then brings out what? The basic salary. They will now plot graph of name against what? Basic salary.
So that is one thing you must do. Now, to do that, just pay attention. So let me go back to previous one to comments. This. Pay attention. After this, I am done with SQL. You can now go and begin to expand your skill. Now, somebody should give me an SQL query statement for selecting only those two columns. Don't look at your notes, neither your laptop. Let your face remain the way it is. Don't bring it down. Don't take it up. That same place is looking. Just stop from there. I want to pick the employee's ID, right? Please check it there for me. Is it employee's ID or employee's name? There's underscores. Have you? I hope I will not have issues with underscore. Beg you. Is there any other column that department that is one? Have you? Sorry, let me work with department. I don't want to have issue of underscore. So we are plotting department column against what? Task. Good. Right? We are plotting. I just want to work with the column attributes without what? Underscore. Now, who can now give us an SQL? You are looking at your previous code.
No, it's not even sure.
So, I say your face should remain where it is. Don't go and check anyway. Now, give me an SQL query, because this is revision. It's part of what we have done. To select only department column and what? Task column. So, select. Okay, from. Select brackets. I disagree. I disagree. Are we calling all?
No, select from data set name.
Select from. I disagree. My brother, help me. You know you are the specialist in SQL. You are not following me. Oga. Oga. That confession is strong. I'm ending the subject. You're telling me you are not following me. Jesus. I will never start again.
No.
Select. You call the name of those columns first. Select, call them comma. We did that now. Now you call them comma first. So select what? Department. How is this spelled? Please help me. Okay, this is it, have you? Department, comma, and again, task. You know, I've changed it now. I don't want to work with double. Then, after this, where are you selecting these two headings from? So, from comes in here, no comma after that. From the table name, have you? NIT. You are not selecting all. So let's run it now and see. Exactly. That, thank God for the class project defense on the Friday. That will make you to go back to all this. Yes. All the command in SQL. Use workbench. Go back to workbench. All the command in SQL. Apply all of them. You are going to come out one after the other. Uncomment them, run it, be communicated, just like what we used to do now. Before we go on Friday, no, on Monday we start Power BI. So now I want to convert this to graph. If you go down, you will see what? You will see. Hope this my window now will not be an issue. Now run your own like this for me. Run your own like this for me. Have you run it? Okay, I'll see what I'm looking for. Now look up. Let's assume that
this particular report that we have generated now, you want to lift it up, you want to export it, maybe in your PowerPoint, you want to explain it. So you must have created a folder. After getting this result, you do what? You export it. So all those different results you are getting as you are analyzing, you can be exporting them like as an image into a folder. Then your PowerPoint, you now be inserting them where you are saying something about them. Now, but this is what we want now. Display what? Charts of that report. And it's asking us with what type of what? Charts. You can see that what? It has already allocated the axis, the header. That on the S axis, that is where you have your what? Department. On the Y axis, that's where you have your what? Your task. So you can edit it, you can delete this one from here and put it here as in how you want it. You can say that okay, my task should be on the what? The Y as the S axis. Y department should be what? Y axis. If you want to go ahead with this, then you can also currently this is the graph. And the graph is using by default is what? Line. So I can switch to what? Column. And then go back. So you can see column now. So because the records are much, that is why it's showing like this. Now after this, if you now want to export it, then you now look for that export icon. Here is the export. You can't see it here, but this icon, that's what it represents. Save image as. So if I select save image as now, it will download it as what? An image. So it will be in my what? Download folder. For those that will be using SQL, where you want to show your visualize, your graph, take them like this, then show them in what? In PowerPoint. If you don't want to go to maybe Excel to go and do the graphic or Power BI, you can do it here, or just save them like this if you are comfortable with this. So if I come here now and open it now as an image, let me. So this has now brought us to the end of SQL. So like I said, you are to come up with a class project between now and Friday. Between now and Friday. And that same Friday, so that people will not stay at home because of the project defense. That same Friday, we are going to learn how to install and configure what? Power BI. So if you don't come because of the project defense, get ready to miss that aspect. When you come on Monday, you see us analyzing with it. You don't know how we install it. So you can see the graph here now. This is the image of the graph. Now, questions. If you have questions, done so far is statements. You want to, if